When you see this package, you know you need to play this game. I'm here today with Boss Monster, the incredible retro dungeon building game. So let's look at what's inside. You got your instruction booklet, which tells you all of the rules. Now there are quite a few rules, but the game is still pretty easy to get. It becomes more fun the more you play it, especially after the first round, because you're gonna need to really think out some strategies to win this game. Now there's also a quick start guide which you can use to play the first game and then get into all of the extra rules as well. Now there are these cool hero cards. And you can see all of these have a particular heart level, and they all have a specific symbol over here. Now the goal of the game is to use your monster, so you are in fact the end boss, or the mini boss if you like, at the end of the dungeon, and you need to kill as many of these heroes as you can before one of your opponents, who also have boss monsters, gets their kills. And as they progress through the dungeon you build, you can either kill them if you do them more damage than their heart is worth, or they can damage you. So that's another aspect of the game where you don't want too many of these heroes in your dungeon, because you have to be able to take care of them with your dungeon. Otherwise you'll lose the game if too many of these heroes hit you instead of you hitting them. So these are the heroes, and every turn a few of these heroes get into the town square. Now at the start of the game you each get a random boss monster. So there are a few of these in the pack, and they all have like a specific power that you get when you build out your dungeon, and you get a random one, so you can't choose one. And this is also one of the aspects that make this game very replayable, because for one, the heroes always appear at random, and then you get one random boss monster out of a few. So you can't strategize ahead, you have to think on your feet and build out your dungeon when you do. There are also a few heroes that have a lot lower health count, like this one that has 4. Now building out your dungeon is done with these rooms. So you can have a lot of different rooms here, and each room does something else. It has maybe a special ability that you can use, and also these rooms are given to you at random, so you need to think out your strategy with what you have in your hand. Like this room, for example, damage is equal to the number of monster rooms in your dungeon. So this doesn't deal any damage to the hero unless you have more monster rooms in your dungeon. So that's one. You can see what type of room it is. This is a monster room, and you can also see what type of treasure it holds, and this is like a sword. Then you have other rooms like this one. This is a trap room. It's a different symbol, so not a monster room. And this one does once per turn, when an opponent plays a spell card, you may discard a spell card to cancel its effect. So that is a special room that you can also use. Now this one does 3 damage. So if you have this room and this one, because this one does 1 damage because it's a monster room itself. So all the monster rooms in your dungeon will be 1. So now you can do 4 damage over here. And then when this thief with a health of 4 comes to your dungeon, it will go through the stages of your trap rooms or monster rooms, and it will take damage. So 3 here, 1 here. That means you've defeated it, and you have now 1 hero in your defeated pile. And the goal is to get to 10 of these heroes' souls first without taking 5 damage, 5 hits. So now the way the strategy works is you build out your rooms so you can attack the heroes. Now all of these have different special abilities you can use to trap heroes or to annoy your opponents. But another aspect here of the strategy is you have to pick which symbols you use in your dungeon as well, because whoever has the most symbols of swords or magic books, that's the dungeon the hero with that specific symbol will go to. So in this case I have one book. If none of my opponents have a book, then this mage will go to my dungeon at the end of the turn. Now this is a pretty strong mage, so if this mage goes to my dungeon right now, it'll kill me unless I have something special like a spell, which I will get to. So if I'm not able to defeat this mage with a health of 11, then maybe I should reconsider adding this book room to my dungeon, because if I didn't have this, the mage wouldn't come to my dungeon and maybe visit someone else's dungeon. So there are a lot of different rooms, a few different boss monsters. Now then you also have some spells, like for example the giant size, and this will give one monster room plus 3 damage until end of turn. So when you play this, you can defeat some heroes with larger heart count. And of course the advantage of using spells is that your opponents can't see what you hold in your hand, so they might think the hero will defeat you, so they let you have the honor of being killed by the hero, but then of course you play a spell and you can defeat it anyway, and this also helps you get toward the 10 hero souls count you need to win the game. So what I like about this game is that it involves a lot of strategy. It has all these cool retro characters and artwork. That's also very cool and reminds me of like an old dungeon crawler, and there are a lot of different heroes and bosses and rooms and spells in this base package as well. Now you can buy extra additions to this, which makes it even more fun and adds to the replayability of a game like this, but even with just the base set, just a couple of cards, it's a lot of fun to play.